tuition. So maybe they want to write an exam like white, NECO, JAMB, or all those stuff. So this project caters for that under our organization. We had a beneficiary of that few months ago. Yeah, she could not get the balance. Okay, yeah, she was in a final year in school and she could not pay up her tuition. So through this organization and through this project, she was able to finish that. I mean, she was able to pay her tuition. Then another project that we run is LRF, which is Landmark Rescue Fund. It's a one-time rescue fund on two levels. Number one, a rescue fund of project for people in a major or critical need academically, and also for miscellaneous expenses, like to provide support to those in need and major critical position. And for example, unpaid medical bills for people who are in the hospital, they've been treated, they are fit to be discharged, but they just need to pay up the medical expenses before they get discharged. So this arm of project takes care of that. Then we also have BEF, which is Business Empowerment Fund, scheme and fund. Yeah, this is the fund that is allocated for people who are jobless, who need to start a sustainable and scalable business, but they don't have the means. Now, these are first-timer business. Yeah, so this project takes care of that. Also, we have the PDT. I talked about this PDT earlier. It's personal development track, and it's a long-time intensive coaching that we do for people who have indicated their interest. We help them to improve their confidence in terms of public speaking and to get better. So we give them different assignments and different schedules to help them in that aspect. We have the THDS, Talent Harvest and Development Scheme, and this project deals with people who are academically sound and brilliant, but no financial capacity to further their education. So students who are brilliant, I mean, they have the brains, but no resources for that. And also the other aspect of it is for people who they don't want to go to school, but they would like to probably pick up a skill like carpentry or styling, hairstylists, fashion designers, and all the like. So this aspect of our project takes care of that. So that will bring me to the end of the introduction of what KDF is. We are formerly known as Bank of Opportunities, BOO, but now we've been able to register the organization, and the name we have available is KDF, which is a very great one. So currently we go by KDF, known as.
Okay, so our network went off there, so I'll pick it up from there. Once again, you're welcome, everyone. Once again, this is Carlos Development Foundation, aka Bank of Opportunities. So okay.
Right, sorry about that. My internet is fluctuating. So as I was saying, as I said earlier, my name is Adionke Wole. I'm currently the project coordinator and also the compliance officer. We have Mr. Segun Awodele. Mr. Segun, let's meet you.
Yeah.
Mr. Segun is the media manager and the on-ground team lead rather. Then we also have Mr. Akinfolari Bankole. He's the founder and the PDT director. Can you introduce yourself, Mr. Bankole? Yeah, thank you. All right, so I will hand over to Mr. Bankole as he leads us on. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, all right, thank you very much for that introduction. So once again, everyone, you're welcome to this conference today. once in a month like this, we hold a conference as a means of giving back to the community, to the society, which comes for free. So they are not paid conferences, they are free, but they are not also free for people who come on that platform to speak. So we bring in notable speakers from different parts of the world to come and speak on specific subjects as a way of giving back to the society, supplying information and ensuring capacity building is actualized in different parts of the world. And apart from the Zoom platform, some people are also connected on Zoom, on YouTube. So we are currently also live on YouTube, and then some people are watching us on YouTube right now. And regularly, also people revisit the YouTube recording to listen over and over again. So that's why it's also very much important for us to always record and live stream on YouTube. Okay. We are here for something very important, and we've had the first edition of this immigration conference some months ago. So we are going to be having the second edition of this immigration conference today. So like I said, once in a month, we hold conferences like this online, focusing on different subjects, different things in life. This one specifically talks about immigration matters. The one we had last month in April was about health. So Health is Wealth Conference. It was really quite amazing. People, connected from different parts of the world. I mean, really quite, you can't afford not to take your health into account. Health management is very important. So we hold that also. I think that was the second edition we had. So Health is Wealth Conference. You may want to take note of that so that the next edition you want to be, you want to attend, you want to be present. Okay. So like it has been said before, the Carlos Development Foundation, it's a non-governmental organization reaching out as a kind of giving back to the community, which um, this is just like one of the phases, one of the beginning phases of the vision. So we have like three other phases of the vision, like has been announced before. So this is just like the starting phase, and which, by God's grace, we'll be moving on to the other levels as at when due. So it's in stages, it's in levels. Okay, so this is just one of it. And also in the first phase, we run a vibrant and active WhatsApp and Telegram community where we share updates with people every single day. Immigration offers, scholarships to different parts of the world to study at the bachelor's level, master's level, PhD, scholarships to attend conferences, summits in different parts of the world, and even to take on internship positions, fellowships in different parts of the world. So we share these updates every single day on those platforms with people on the platform. So if you're not on that platform yet, you want to hop in as soon as possible. That helps so you can get updates every single day also, both on Telegram and WhatsApp. We do that. So it's part of the initial stage of the vision. And this conference we hold monthly too is also part of the initial phase. So this is like the grassroots of the vision. So the higher phases will come as at when due. Okay, so it's in phases, it's in levels. Like it has been announced also, we are also passionate about helping people, with different projects in different parts of the world and different levels. Like it has been announced, the lady that was about to graduate in Nigeria had an issue, couldn't proceed, and then she got to know about the landmark rescue fund. She applied, she got it, and then she was able to pull through. Okay, so those are some of the projects that we also do in the background, at least at the starting phase. So the vision is big, but we're picking it up from there. Okay, so today is the immigration conference, and we are here to it's like a kind of continuation. I think we had a first edition sometime last year, if I'm not mistaken. Sometime last year. Was this sometime last year or early this year? Okay, sometime last year. Yeah. Yeah, sometime last year. So we dealt with, and I think our speaker came from was he okay, we had speakers from Denmark and also Portugal. Okay, yeah, we had speakers from Kenya, I mean from Denmark and Portugal on that particular day. It was really quite impactful. So, which was the first edition of the immigration conference, and this is the second edition of the conference. And you know what? The speaker coming today, very seasoned speaker, trainer tonight. It was scheduled to be part of that first edition actually, but unfortunately, time and chance couldn't make that come through. And he was unable to come up that time, but now he's powerfully back here, really quite ready and, really quite loaded to, to impart the community with his experience, with his knowledge, exposure, and expertise thus far in this area, demystifying a couple of misconceptions. There are fallacies about traveling, about immigration that people need to decongest their mind of. And there are also some truths to be uncovered. So there are a couple of things to unpack in terms of the truths and fallacies. And also, we'll be talking about some opportunities as far as immigration is concerned. I will come up later to talk about that personally, to give you one of the major immigration opportunities available right now, which possibly you might want to explore or someone you know might want to explore. Really quite massive. Okay, that will be after our trainer. So I will come up to do that afterwards. So it gives us a great player today to welcome an amazing personality in our midst. He's resident in Portugal and also is an IT enthusiast, and by profession is an IT specialist. Join me tonight as we welcome um, Mr. Oluwatobi Olaoke to take us through this journey tonight. Mr. Olaoke, you're welcome. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bankole. Can you hear me? Am I audible?
Yes, very audible. We can.
All right. Thank you very much. And thank you for the opportunity to create the platform as well, for the opportunity to be on your platform as well. And like you have said, the topic we'll be taking today will be on the truth and the fallacies of uh, traveling abroad, and exploring opportunities outside your country of your home country. So, and then there are a, a number of items that I have identified, which I hope that is not going to be a waste of your time at the end of the day. So I will be sharing my screen. Okay. All right. Let me know if you can see my screen, please. Can you see my screen now?
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you very much. So let's go into it straight up. And I want to introduce this topic by saying that number one, it's believed that a lot of immigration is happening from Africa to Europe and to rest of the world. But I think the reality that I have found out is that across the globe, people are immigrating. As a matter of fact, it's even noted, it is something that is noteworthy that even in Portugal, for instance, a lot of Portuguese don't stay in Portugal. They actually migrate to other countries, US, France, a lot of them in France, Germany, and all that. So it's not an African thing to migrate. It is just a general thing for everyone. I've had a lot of Germans migrating to US, going to UK to study, So it's global and everybody has that right to explore the opportunities in their world that they fit, that they deem fit to be okay for them. So, and as long as what you are looking for in your life or from your view of things is not where you are, then you can go and pursue whatever you feel is going to bring peace for you. So the first thing I'm saying here is don't think that migration is just in Nigeria or Japa. It's not just a Nigerian thing, it's not an African thing, it's a global thing. A lot of people are migrating, even US nationals are migrating out of US to even Europe, where they feel they have safety because of the situation of even gunshots here and there and all that. Not everybody is okay with the situation in US as much as people also want to go to the US. A lot of people are also migrating out of US. So there are several opportunities that you can explore when it comes to you migrating out of your home country. One of the opportunity is, of course, study. Another opportunity is work plan. You can plan to go and work abroad. You can plan to go and study abroad. You can as well. There are even some countries that even allows you to come on visit the country, look at how things are. If it's okay for you, you can you can change your plan and settle down, which I mean, they don't consider it illegal in those countries. Of course, all these are subject to immigration laws in various countries as well. And then I think one of the popular ways that people go abroad to relocate is study. If you look at UK, for instance, UK is dominated with a lot of study opportunities for you to go and study and all that. And even in this recent time, we have a lot of cases in Europe as well. People are coming to Europe because of the lower tuition rate in Europe compared to places like UK and the US, and also because of the ease of immigration. And of course, the opportunity that are also in Europe are enormous. If you have the opportunity to be in one country in Europe, you have the opportunity to also go to other Schengen areas. I mean, we are talking about 20 countries that you can have access to and that you can explore several opportunities in Europe. And then, yes, unleashing career potential through travel. There are also opportunities that you can explore even as a career person. You know, you can, I mean, a lot of opportunities for career person. You want to, even in UK that we are talking about, even in Europe, I've seen a number of people get job directly from Nigeria to France, even without being able to speak the language. So I've seen a lot of people get job directly from Nigeria to Portugal, even without being able to speak Portuguese. So whatever opportunities that you want to explore, you have to sit down and make your plan well to identify where and what do you want to go. Where do you want to go and what exactly do you want to go for in those specific regions? Of course, I would not be I am someone that would not be in support of you just traveling. I mean, for frivolity of maybe because you want to travel abroad, you want to do something stupid or something. No, but I understand over time that majority of even people that actually find themselves abroad and then their whole situation becomes messy, it is because of lack of information, adequate information. And one thing that I would want to emphasize here is you have two options. You have the opportunity to use travel agencies for whatever travel plan that you want to do, and also you also have the opportunity to do it yourself. But one thing that is important is that whether you are using travel agency or you are using it yourself, you must understand that you need to study hard to know what you are getting into. You need to study hard. You need to help yourself to, I mean, prepare yourself with a lot of information that will help you and give you a soft landing. Of course, it's a new environment that you are reaching out to. You should expect new things as well. And then, so uh, let's move on quickly to the truth and fallacies. Fallacies, I would say fallacy is like Mr. Bankole has said, they are misconceived opinion. When people just form an opinion about something that are not founded in fact. It's just founded in based on maybe a few people you see around you, and then people make conclusions based on that. I've met people that they said, "Oh, I would love to travel, but my friend that traveled last 2 years told me that he was washing plates in the kitchen and in the restaurant and all that." And the question I asked the person was, "Okay, last 2 years, when was the last time you spoke with the person?" It's been a while I speak with the person. Oh, so the fact that he was watching plate last 2 years means that he's still washing plate today. So people formed their opinion based on hearsay, and this is what I consider as fallacy. They are not truth. And most of the time, even on social media that we have today, you discover that even lies, fallacies spread faster than even truth. Rumors spread faster than real information. So, but of course, like I said earlier, if you want to get into this kind of a thing, you want to explore this kind of opportunity, one thing you must do for yourself is to find out about the information yourself. Don't work on hearsay. They say this is happening here. They say that is happening there. What have you researched on? What information do you have for yourself that would help you? So the first truth and fallacy, I am not separating the truth and fallacy because um, it's I would say it's a it's like a two side of a coin, you know. So what is facing, as is facing one person with something, is facing another person with something else. So some people would say, oh yes, studying abroad is actually for the wealthy. Well, it is true, and it is also not true. It is not totally true. Why do I say it is true? It is true because no matter how small it is, resources are involved. For you to study abroad, for you to work abroad, for you to relocate abroad, either by permanent residency, by study abroad, by whatever means, there's a resource that you need to invest in it. But one thing that you need to also know is that the money does not have to come from you. I mean, the money does not have to come from you. What am I talking? What am I saying here? For instance, if you are going abroad, if your plan to go abroad is to study, you don't have to pay from your pocket. You really don't have to pay from your pocket. There are uh, a lot of academic programs that I mean scholarships that you can apply for, grants that you can apply for, and there are a lot of affordable programs that you can also apply for within the context of your financial capacity. There are a lot of countries that are offering different courses that are easy for you to apply to, and then you can use that uh, to enter whatever country you want to go into, and that could be your starting point. And one important thing is this: oh, everybody wants to go to the US, everybody wants to go to Canada and all that. I mean, what if Canada is not showing up? What if US is not showing up? You know that you came to Europe does not mean that you have to live in Europe for the rest of your life. I mean, you can come to Europe and have a good landing in Europe, settle down a bit, and go to wherever you want to go to. You can go to Asian country, settle down a bit, and go to wherever you want to go to. I know a number of people that have even gone to Dubai to work in Dubai, and then after 2, 3 years, they relocated to their choice country. So sometimes it is not a straight line trip. Sometimes you have to go from one place to another, and then to where you are going to. And one thing that I know for sure is where you go to first, you can be sure that you will take something important there that will help you in the new place that you are going to. So I don't want you to have the mindset of that will box you in a corner. Some people want to go and study in Australia. Yes, it's good to study in Australia, but do you have the resources? Do you have the money that it takes? Some people want to go and study in UK, but you don't have the money. But you can take the first step by, applying for scholarship. You can take the first step by going to a country where there are even some countries that offer that you can get scholarship easily. There are countries that even offer free education if you present your letter of motivation correctly. So why not go to those places and explore those opportunities that you have there? So it depends on individual. You have to sit down and analyze your situation, and then you make your moves. So studying abroad is not for the wealthy. To be honest, it is not for the wealthy. It is for everyone that has that vision for themselves. I, for instance, when I finished my bachelor's degree, I already told myself I wasn't going to do my master's degree in Nigeria. That has been so. It doesn't matter how many people are doing their masters around me. It doesn't appeal to me naturally. Not because there's a problem with um, having masters in Nigeria, but personally, I don't just want it. And over time, I was able to pursue uh, my goal. So it could be a long-term plan, it could be a short-term plan, depending on the resources you have available to you, depending on the opportunities you have. Some people would say, oh, but I have second class lower, I have third class, I have whatever class of degree that you have. You could still get something. You could get a scholarship, you could get a grant, you could get a school that will offer you waiver, tuition waiver, and different opportunities. You could get a school that will, in US, for instance, there are schools that will, if you have, what is it called, GRE, there are schools that will give you scholarship, 50% scholarship, 75% scholarship. Different opportunities are out there, but you only need to identify where you want to go to and then start pushing in that light. And one thing I must also say about this is you must do it with the mindset of never give up. I've had instances where some people have been applying for scholarship. Okay, so first year, second year, nothing. There's no scholarship. Moreover, I have two in my bachelor's degree, and I've had instances where someone is still on this matter for another 4 years, 5 years, and eventually he got a full scholarship. So if you don't give up on it, make every failure that you encounter on the way, make it a learning curve for you to improve better. If you apply this year and they told you, oh, it's because of your motivation letter. So what happened to your motivation letter this year? You already know it. Then don't make that mistake next year. What happened to your motivation letter? What happened to your application this year? You don't allow it to happen to you next year. So you make every situation you encounter on the way, you make it a learning curve. And by this, you can keep moving on. And then the second one I'll be talking about is working abroad is unattainable without a network. Oh, I need to know someone in US so that the person can help me to get a job, and then I can use the job to travel abroad. Well, that is good. As much as I would also advocate that, yes, build your network internationally, nationally, build your network. I mean, information are in people, are inside people, and people are there to help you. But at the same time, international job markets value skills and qualification, and they value your adaptability. How well are you able to adapt to their system? How qualified are you for the job role that is advertised? What is your value in the market? What is your value in the market? I mean, how do you go about this? You have, maybe you are a software developer, for instance, and you are applying, you are looking for the opportunity of maybe working in the UK or in Europe or in Netherlands or in wherever you want to work, whichever country you want to work. The first thing you should do is, have you read about the country? What are the skills they want? Yes, you are a developer, but what are the skill sets that you need to work in that country? Okay, front-end developer, what tool do they use for their front-end development in the country you are going to? Which certification are they asking for is common in the country you are going to? Which other things, information do you need to gather in the country that you wish to go to? There are some certification in IT, for instance, that sells more in the UK than in the US. There are some that sells more in the US than in the UK. So have you found out that SAP? I know someone who is a SAP developer. He was working with Dangote. He worked with Dangote for a number of years, and then he got a job directly to France at Airbus, directly, without being able to speak French. Without being able to speak French. But what did he do? He sat down and then identified, where is my skill needed? What do I need to gather where I am working? I was talking to someone during the week, and I was saying that many times where you are, there are a lot of opportunities that you can explore to build yourself for the next level that you are going into. A lot of people work with Dangote with complaints, oh, this company is bad, this company is, but he sat down in that same company and was learning a skill that would sell him to the world. So you need to check all these things. Look online, for instance, go on LinkedIn, search for the job role that you think that you want to apply for. Look at the job description. How does it apply to you? What can you do on that job description? By the time you look at 5, 6, 7 job description, you will discover that you already covered all the job description related to that job role. So match them together. What do you have? What don't you have? So once you identify what you have, then build it up, consolidate it. What you don't have, how do you get the skills to have them? How do you get those skills? Get those skills, put them together. Another thing you need to look into is your CV, for instance. How do you prepare your CV? There are countries, for instance, and if you are applying to a country like France, for instance, France is not likely to accept a 2-page CV. France is likely to accept a 1-page CV. So if you are sending a 3, 4, 5-page CV to France, I mean, there's going to be a problem. There's going to be a problem. Nobody is going to look at that CV. So you understand what I'm saying? So the question here is, which country do you want to go to? And then what plan do you have in place? What do you know about that country? What information do you have about that country? So research on that. Of course, you are not likely to get some of this information from hearsay. You have to go into the research of that country properly to actually know what you want. In some other European country, you can submit 2-page CV, 3-page CV, depending on the number of years of experience. But in some countries, just 1 page, just 1 pager, no story. And then if it's one pager, what are the information that should be on that CV? What are the relevant information that they look at? I mean, recruiter don't have 10 minutes to check your CV. You probably have maybe 30 seconds to check your CV. So these are the things that you should work towards. Yes, it's good to build your network. Build your network is advisable, but you must understand that your value, your skill, your qualification is very, very important. And then I'll be talking about language barrier. People say, oh, language barrier is a deal breaker. If I go to Europe, Europe does not speak most, of course, and I don't think you will see any European country that has English as their first language. It's not likely. But does that mean that there are no opportunities there for everyone? There are a lot of opportunities there for everyone that wants to go into that space. Language barrier is never a deal breaker, and that is the truth. I just told you about example of people that got a job directly. Some people even got a job search visa directly to Europe countries from Nigeria. So language is not a barrier. What is important is that when you are doing that kind of a thing, you need to open up your mind to know that, yes, you are open to learn and you are open to growth. If you are not open to growth, if you are not open to learn, if you are not open to development, definitely there's going to be a problem. But if you are open to growth and self-development, you won't have a problem. And for instance, the language barrier, like I remember when I was in France, one of the things that the French people want to see you do is they want you to make effort to speak that language. They know that you can't speak the language. Yes, you don't have that skills to speak the language. I mean, at the desired level. But make efforts. Let them see that you have interest in them. And of course, even in our own in Nigeria, where I come from, I mean, you will also believe with me that if you go to places like maybe Ibadan, even in Lagos, a lot of people speak Yoruba. A lot of people speak Yoruba. If you go to places like Ibadan and you are speaking French in Ibadan, for instance, or you are speaking French in Lagos, people will be looking at you like, are you really serious? What are you talking about? So, but the same thing applies when you are going to also a foreign land where you don't speak their language. You must be open to learn their language. That is vital. So at the minimum, understand the greetings, how to greet. These are simple things that you could learn online by watching YouTube video, by going through the using apps like Duolingo. You could learn the language at the basic level. I mean, nowadays we have translators. Google Translate is there that you can download on your phone. I mean, that you can get on your phone and then you can use it to translate. I've gone to supermarket where I give my phone as a translator to someone, speak to it and let me understand what you're talking about. And he spoke to it and then everybody was clear. So these are barriers that you can actually get around with if you are actually willing to learn, if you are actually willing to open your mind to the new environment. I mean, it's a new environment, which you must understand that you need to learn the language at some point. It doesn't mean that if you don't learn the language, you can't get this, you can't get that. That is not true. You could actually. You could. You could. So, and of course, I said there are strategies for overcoming the language barrier and multilingual. Of course, even globally, multilingual experiences will continue to be a global asset. So if you approach it with that mindset, that if I could have, for instance, if you could have the opportunity to speak French, you have the opportunity to speak Spanish, and you could speak the English you are speaking. I mean, you'll be in high demand for different organizations. So forget about the fact that, you need to, if you even approach it from the mindset of this is a challenge that will build my future, till tomorrow, being able to speak many languages will always be a very great advantage. That's, I mean, that will open several doors for you. What it means is that you could go to any of these countries that speaks this language. For instance, look at Nigeria, for instance. Nigeria is surrounded by French-speaking countries. If you're able to speak French, for instance, you are able to speak French very well, you're able to speak English very well. I mean, you can apply to different organizations in the world, and that will always be an advantage for you. So see it as a challenge that you have to overcome, but don't see it like a barrier that is like a stumbling block that is going to block you from becoming what you should be. So see it like a challenge that you will overcome over time. So I am in a new country. I want to learn their language. I want to learn their culture because it will help me and build me for the future. If you see it as that, if you approach it as that, I'm sure in no time you are going to get over the language situation. And of course, there are a lot of multinational companies in Europe. As much as we say, oh, Europe, majority of Europe countries does not speak. They don't have English as their first language. Yes, but multinational companies have English as their first language. There are a lot of European countries also, even though they don't have English as their first language, there are European countries that you get to that they speak English very well, even better than we Nigerians and Africans that says that English is our English is our official language. I've met a lot of Germans that when they speak English, you'll be wondering, really? And you said you are German. So that is the way it is. So a lot of people speak English across Europe. A lot of people, a lot of companies are in Europe that English is their official language. Quite a lot of them that you can explore. I mentioned about someone getting a job directly from Nigeria to Airbus. Airbus official language is English globally. So it doesn't matter whatever they speak, their official language globally is English. And there are certain levels you can't even get to in such companies if you don't know how to speak English, if you can't speak English very well. So you are not at a disadvantage coming to Europe because of language. It is never a problem. It's a challenge that you will overcome with time. Cultural adjustment is always difficult. One major thing that people always talk is, oh, new culture. Yes, new culture. But the question is, who told you your culture is the best? I mean, it's because you grew up in your own environment. That is what makes you feel that, yes, your culture is the best. But in reality, if you actually mix with other culture, you discover that there are also very good cultures. So it's not about my culture is the best. If you keep holding on to the fact that your culture is the best, who told you that your culture is the best? I mean, if you go to Korea, for instance, they have very good culture, very good respect culture and all that. So it doesn't mean that yours is inferior. It doesn't mean that theirs is inferior. And it gives you, it's a leverage for you at any point in time when you have that opportunity to blend with different culture. In the workplaces, I mean, if you're working with a multinational, for instance, you meet with different culture, Portuguese, German, Americans, UK nationals, Africans, different cultures. And you need to, if you're able to blend with them, to relate with them at that level of their culture, I mean, it's an advantage for you. So one of the things that is important about culture, food is a critical part of culture. The food is a critical food that they eat is a critical part of their culture. And I mean, I've had that opportunity to mix with, I mean, a number of culture, at least maybe in Europe, even outside Europe. And I discovered, for instance, I remember when I was in Korea, when I developed interest in their food to the point that I was not even missing home. I was not missing home at all. It was because their food is just like, it's as spicy as our African food is. I mean, everything I was like, in fact, people were like, are you sure you are not going to stay more than the required time? Yeah, I said no. But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed their culture. I enjoyed their food as well. And if you go to Spain as well, if you go to Spain also, they have also different kinds of food as well. If you go to places like maybe Sweden also, they have different kind of, and their food is different, even though they are in the same European area, but their food is different. If you come to Portugal, for instance, their food is also different. If you go to France, for instance, their food is different. They are in France, for instance, their food is a bit more salty than, I mean, some of the European country that I have had the opportunity to be. So you need to appreciate their culture, appreciate who they are, appreciate what they have. When they see that in you, they will also open up to you. So don't be culturally biased. Don't bring cultural bias into an environment, into an international space. You don't bring cultural bias into an international space. By the time you are leaving your home country and you are going to a country where you have never lived before, you don't bring your bias there. Understand that your culture is not the best, but appreciate the values in your culture, appreciate the values that other people's culture also offer. Because if they also come to your own culture, they will also there are several things they'll be wondering, why is this like this? Why is that like that? I remember a time I was talking to some European guys about the marriage culture in Nigeria. And they were like, wow, really? This? They were wondering, but why is this? Why that? Why this? Why that? Why this? Why that? Because it is not their own culture. And if they tell us what we consider as we value it so much, yes, value your culture, but understand that other people also have their culture, and give them their own respect at that level. All right. You need to have everything organized before you travel. Yes and no. You can do your best to organize, put everything in place, do this, do that, but I must tell you that sometimes it doesn't work the way you plan it. But it is good for you to plan because you have some leverage. You have some like a shock absorber when certain things happen. But if there's no plan on ground, it might be problematic. So I would say that plan as much as you can, but also understand that you can't plan everything. There are certain things that will change when you get there. I've seen instances where even during the days of people getting what was it called? This US ballot, or what do they call US lottery, US visa lottery, people winning US visa lottery. I've seen someone that won visa lottery that everybody expected that him and his wife get to US and things are smooth and all that. And for the first like 1 year, 2 years, in fact, it got so bad to the point that he was begging to hit on the street. Is it that uh, it's not as if it doesn't have papers to work. It's not as if it doesn't. So, but things happen that you don't plan for. So, but if you get prepared, if you prepare yourself for the worst, I mean, preparing yourself for the worst, I mean, in your mind is whatever happens is a new environment, is a new terrain. It may take time for you to understand. I've seen someone that even got a job directly from Nigeria to another country. He started the job 1 month, 2 months, he was sacked from the job. He now started running from pillar to post to get another job, because if he doesn't get another job, he will be forced back home. So things could happen, anything could happen. But one thing you must know, that as much as you are making that plan, also have on the other hand your other plan. Have several plans, but you cannot plan everything as well. You cannot plan everything as well. And if I mean, if you are a Christian, I am a Christian, this is the reason why you need to have your spirit man as your backup. This is the reason why you need to have your spiritual life as your backup, because life sometimes may not go as smooth as you plan it. There might be rough edges many times that, if care is not taken, could knock you out. So, but you can't plan everything. But it is good to plan the best you can plan the best you can plan. Be flexible with your plans to accommodate changes along the line. It's a new environment, it's a new space that you are getting to. Be flexible. You can get an accommodation, for instance, before you leave before you leave your home country, and then you arrive to the place and you hear that your landlord does not want to stay with a black man. I should move out. What will you do? You will start making adjustments. So be flexible enough to accommodate changes, so that the changes, the challenges that you meet on the way will not break you. And of course, do as much research as you can, but do not overcommit yourself. Don't, when things doesn't go well as planned enough, don't crucify yourself, don't kill yourself. Understand that challenges come on the way, but it's to make you tougher and stronger. All right. And then I'll be talking about, yes, another fallacy and truth that I'll be talking about is that, oh, you have to do menial jobs to survive abroad. That is not true. That is not true. Not everyone or not every foreigners abroad are doing menial jobs. No. There are a lot of foreigners that are doing correct professional jobs, well employed, gainfully employed, gainfully employed. So you don't have to. Meanwhile, doing menial job is not actually a problem in itself. The question you should ask yourself is, this menial job that you are doing or that you want to do, is it long term? You see a lot of Nigerians, for instance, in my own country, a lot of Nigerians go to the UK to do what was it called? To do care jobs and all that. The question is, what is their plan? Are they planning to do it on a long-term basis? Are they planning to do it on a short-term basis or on a medium-plan basis? What is the plan? Or do you want to take up that job pending when you stabilize, and then you can move on to higher things? So you need to draw out this plan from the beginning. I'll do my care job for 2-3 years to gather some resources, gather some funds, and you focus on it. You focus on whatever you want to gather. I'll write this exam, write that exam, do this, do that, do this, do that, and then I'll move on with life. I've seen people also that came to do their masters. They came for masters abroad, and then after their masters, while they are looking for job, they got maybe a security job. Instead of them to make proper plan, I will do the security job, build up myself, build up my skill set for the next so year. You see, some of them are doing the security job for 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. But are they making the money? They are making the money. But is that what they actually wanted initially? It will be a personal decision. If you want to continue doing the menial jobs, yes, you can continue. But you also have the right to make the choice. You have the right to make that choice of living a higher life that you think that you consider higher. Because higher life is also, to some people, to one person is different from higher life to another person. So whatever you consider as higher life, you can actually achieve it with proper plans. With proper plans. What am I saying? You don't have to do menial jobs for a long time. And in some cases, you don't even have to do menial jobs at all. mean, there are online platforms that offers professional jobs that you can do remotely. If you go to Upwork, for instance, Upwork offers professional job. You can work as a project manager of Upwork at different time interval where you are, and you earn your money in foreign currency. As a matter of fact, there are even people that are doing these remote jobs, even in Nigeria. If you are doing that kind of a remote job and you want to relocate, you can relocate. There are countries that now offer, they call them digital nomads, that offer visa for digital nomads, whereby you are working remotely, but you are looking for a conducive environment to live in. And then you apply for digital nomad visa. They can give you, and you continue to live there in the country until you are okay and you feel you want to leave. And if you want to get even their permanent residency or citizenship at some point, is also possible with your digital nomad. So there are these opportunities that are coming up globally. If you go on LinkedIn, there are remote jobs on LinkedIn. So you don't necessarily have to do many jobs. But if you don't have the skills also that could get you a good job, you could do many jobs. It's not a sin. But the question is, when and when do you want to stop the menial jobs? What is your plan? Do you want to continue with it? Do you want to do it for a midterm? Do you want to do it to achieve a specific goal? So these are the questions you need to ask yourself. These are the important things that you need to plan for. If you know, okay, I'll be traveling next year, what do you want to go and do there? So these are the questions you should ask yourself. It's not a problem doing many jobs, but are you doing it for life, or you want to do it for you to stabilize and then you move on to higher things? You should ask yourself that question and answer it, research on it to help you to know the best decision to take. Racism there is racism abroad. Yes. A lot of people say, oh, in America, there are a lot of racism cases and all that. Yes, there are racism. Even in your home country, there are racism. At least I'm a Nigerian. I know even in Nigeria, even in Nigeria alone, there are tribalism. Several things divide people. Oh, this person is from my tribe. He must get this job. This person is from my religion. He must get this job. This person is from this. He must get this job. So even in your home country, there is tribalism. So racism, wherever you find yourself, is not a new thing. It's not really a big deal. But the truth of the matter that you must also understand is that when you have the content that they need, even a racist will come to you to buy from you. So it's not whether there's racism there, but what do you have to offer them? What do you have to offer them for them to consider you as important that even the person that is a racist still knows that I need this guy to do this thing for me? So it's about the content that is in you, first and foremost. And then every other thing follows. For me, I believe that there's racism, and I believe that racism is not going to does not stop anyone from achieving whatever they achieve. That is Obama. Obama is black, and he became the president of America. So, that is in the natural world. What else would say is limiting anyone? If a black can become the president of America, look at UK. The prime minister in UK is an Indian. He has an India heritage. So what are we talking about? So we shouldn't allow this perspective to keep us away from taking the bold step that we are expected to take, that we plan to take. Another truth and fallacies that I will also be talking about is, oh, once I get abroad, I will start sending money home. Yes, you will start sending money home. Yes, but I would say that you should not place too much demand on yourself. I mean, ask yourself, you have been, even in your own country, you have been there for 20, 40 years. How much have you sent to someone? So system, every system has a way of integrating you into their economic system. So, and economic growth for individual also varies. It varies based on the time that you even came in. Some people came in, for instance, they came into a foreign country during COVID when they couldn't even get a job to do for a couple of months. So you don't make that kind of a plan to say when you get home, or maybe you have even collected loan. Some people collected loan and went to study in UK. And then they got to the UK for the first 1 month or 3 months. He was even looking for accommodation. So you don't overcommit yourself. You must understand that this is a new terrain. You need to understand the system. You need to understand how they do their things. You need to understand how their processes works. So money may not be the first thing. Money may not be the first thing. And you must also understand that it is not as if there's a tree that is bringing out money where you just go to and pluck and pluck the money. And you see, the truth about it is even that here in developed countries, every money that comes to you, you actually worked for it. It's not like in some countries, maybe in Africa, for instance, maybe in Nigeria, for instance, where you can go out and then uh, uh, they say, one politician came to your village and then he started distributing money to everybody. It doesn't happen here. No politician will come to your house to come and distribute money for you. In fact, if there's a money that comes into your account that is not traceable to something valid, they will track you and ask you questions. Where did you get it from? So every money that comes to you, you actually worked for it. But you must also understand that you worked for it does not mean that the same work that I would do and get paid for maybe 1,000 per month, another person would do it in another place and do it for 5,000 per month as well. So, but you worked for it. You are only paid differently. So the point is that money here is connected to the job that you do. The rate of your payment could be different, but it is connected to somewhere, a source that is known, or a business, whether you are in a job, in a paid employment, or you are in a business that is generating the money for you. Someone was saying a couple of days ago that I was watching it. I don't know whether I was watching. Someone was telling me that in Nigeria there's an adage in my native language that say "Ogata ogata, owa okwe." That is in less developed countries. In developed countries, what that statement means is whether your boss sells or not, your salary will be paid. So you don't care whatever you do. If you don't even work, if you just come to work and all you do is to gist, your boss will still pay you whether he makes profit or not. But in developed countries, your job is attached to the deliveries, to your deliverables. So if you are not delivering what your boss will sell to make money, you won't be paid. It is the job that you do that you get paid for. You don't get paid for the job that you did not do. That is why in some countries you see they employ driver, a full-time driver, and the driver brings the boss to the office in the morning and he goes under the tree, gisting till evening when the guy is ready to go home and then he gets paid at the end of the month. Yeah, the money you'll be paid for is the money that the hour that it took you to drive your boss to the office. Whatever happened between then and closing, it is your life. Nobody will pay you for the work undone. So that is what I mean by that adage. So don't place unrealistic demand on yourself. Don't place unrealistic demand on yourself. It may be the case that you get there, you have a soft landing and all that. Thank God for it. And you can get there and you face challenges. Thank God for it. But be prepared for whatever you meet on ground. Like I say, money don't just drop from the tree. You work for money. And I said earlier also that every country have a way of integrating you into their system. So an economic growth for an individual differs. It differs. So I know someone in the US. I know someone in the US that was he was working as I think as a driver. He was driving Uber before, and then suddenly he got another driving opportunity that was paying him like 5 times of what he was earning as Uber driver. It's still the same driving job, but at different level. The same driving job, but at different level. The same thing applies to even white collar job as well. The same job, but different organization, different payment style. But your payment will be tracked. Whatever comes into your account is tracked, is traceable to whatever activity or productive activity, business activity that you have been engaged in. And then let's move on to different employment options that we could explore. The first one is work visa and work permit. I have talked about that. You can apply for job remotely. You can apply for job, do your job interview, and then get employed, apply for your visa or work permit, and then you move on. And then, of course, if you are working with a multinational company, you also have the opportunity for intra-company transfer, whereby you can switch from your branch of company in Nigeria to your branch of company in UK, in Europe, in different places. And also job seeker visa. There are a number of countries now are offering job seeker visa for job seekers. Like I know of France, I know of Germany, I know of Portugal as well. I know of a number of opportunities like that. And then freelance or self-employment visa. There are a number of European countries that are also opening their system up for this kind of visa. Like I mentioned earlier, you can work as a freelancer in different, like in France, for instance. I'm sure France has this kind of opportunity. I think countries like I think Netherlands, countries like even Portugal have this kind of opportunities for freelancers. That if you're a freelancer, you can come in, get a freelance job working remotely, and then you are living here in Portugal, or you are living wherever you are living in Europe or anywhere in the world that you have to. I know a number of people, Indians, whoever, that self website developers, that they are working with some organization in UK, but they are living in Portugal. They are working with some organization in Canada, but they are living in Europe. So, and then EU Blue Card. EU Blue Card is like a 4-year work permit for at a certain level. Is for high professional. That's people that are, you must earn certain amount of money. It differs from country to country as well to be able to get the EU Blue Card. So if you can apply for job. If you are a professional, a top-notch professional, you can apply for job, get a job, and then you apply for EU Blue Card. It gives you leverage a lot. It's a 4-year Blue Card. And then digital nomad. I have talked about that earlier. People that work remotely in different parts of the world, but they are looking for a base, a home where they can call home, where they can do, for instance, there are some companies, for instance, that if you want, if you will work, if you will be allowed to work with them remotely, they will tell you, we need this bandwidth of internet, we need this bandwidth of this and that, which you may not be able to get that in the third world country. So the European countries, some European countries are opening this digital nomad visa for people like that. That, okay, yes, coming into our country, come and live in our country. We'll give you this visa. You can leave anytime and you can stay as long as you want. Like nomad does. Nomad moves from one place looking for what? Looking for pasture for their sheep, or for their cattle rather. And then startup visa, I mean, a number of European countries has this where you can open a business venture. They will tell you the minimum amount of money that you must have in your account to open this business venture. And all they need is your genuine information, the validity, the authenticity of information that you have. That is what they need. They say, okay, in France, for instance, they will tell you, this is the minimum amount that you must have in your account for you to be able to get the startup visa, and you start up a company there. It doesn't have to be a big company like that. But I mean, these are opportunities. Study and work, PhD. There are a lot of, I'm sure that on this platform as well, Mr. Bankole has brought someone that is a PhD student, and he was also working as well. Usually when you get your PhD in all these European countries, they give you 4 years visa, 4 years visa, which also gives you the opportunity, of course, to work alongside, depending on the local laws within the individual European state as well. So these are some of the opportunities that I wanted to share with us. And I hope that I haven't bored you. I guess maybe I took much time than expected, but apologies for that. Okay, so get your fact right. Get your facts right. Another person's experience does not have to define yours. Set responsible expectation for yourself. That someone says, oh, when I got there, I was doing this, I was sleeping on the street. You learn from their own mistake to make yours better. It doesn't have to be that for you. Not everybody that goes abroad are sleeping on the street or doing many jobs. So get your facts right and make your next move prayerfully with the help of God. All right. So I think that will be all from my side. Thank you very much for listening.
Wow, thank you very much for that presentation, for that powerful, powerful, powerful presentation. Thank you very much, Mr. Oluwatobi Olaoke. Thank you very much for that. For let's quickly take questions. So let's see if people have questions. So before we proceed from there, anyone with any question, if you have any question, this is the right time to ask. Mr. Olauke is still around, so you can ask your question in case you have any question about any of the things that have been said so far, or anything related to what we're here for today. Peradventure had not been said, so you can ask your question right away if you have any. So, so you can raise your hand or drop it in the chat box in case you have any question. So, thank you very much once again, Mr. Olauke. It's you've said, yeah, I mean, I can basically say you've said it all, actually. You've touched on a whole lot of very critical and important things. I mean, very vital points that people need to be aware of when it comes to, to traveling, in terms of what is true, what is not true, misconceptions, what people need to be aware of. And so that people will have the correct information at their disposal when it comes to traveling. Okay, so the Mr. Lauke mentioned this. So Mr. Lauke mentioned he gave an example of a graduate, picking up a security job, after after studying in a particular country, and then the person picked up a security job as an example. I'm just making a reference to that example to buttress his point and to pick out one or two things, So picking up a security job, and then let's now assume the person relates with a friend back in Nigeria who is just finished from school and then is working as a security in that country. Now, that registers something in the mind of the person back home, which, of course, would definitely get to some other persons. And that's in a way begins to spread some kind of misconceptions. Oh, so even after finishing your program, you're still working as security job that you can't do in Nigeria. And this is this is just one of the things people will readily just say, security job that you can't do in Nigeria, now you're doing it abroad. Now, like Mr. Lauki said, very profound. This is what people need to know about that kind of scenario, so that people don't get to go away with misconception. This is where misconception starts. Now, do you know that there could be two different graduates? Okay, two different graduates that picked up security job at the same time. In 4 years' time, one has risen to become, let's say, a project manager in a firm, let's say in Volkswagen, for instance, while the second person is still working as a security guy, security man in that company. What do you think is responsible for that? And do you think it is not possible for that person to have, in 3 years' time, 4 years' time, pick up a project management job with Volkswagen? Yeah, so these are the misconceptions. These are the things that we're talking about when it comes to traveling. And Mr. Aloki said something very profound. I'm emphasizing it. What makes the difference is planning. Now, the person who picks up a security job after his program, what is his plan? Does he plan to settle with that job? Or does he plan to do that job in a short time while he prepares and skills up for the next phase? So it's something personal. That is the summary. That's what I'm driving at. It's something personal. So you don't let someone's experience create a negative conception about traveling in your mind. It is basically personal. So it is good. Yeah, the person can pick up the security job after the program, not to stay idle. And of course, the person will be making his money. While doing that, the person can pace himself. I'm doing this job for 2 years. Within that 2 years, I will have skilled up, acquired this certificate, acquired this skill, put up for this application, for this job, and then move on. So he has a plan for that 2 years to skill up and change level. Okay, it's different from someone who picked up a security job and then it basically settles with that job. Okay, so there are two different things. So it is basically personal. So when you hear, oh, somebody has been abroad, is just doing menial jobs, what you want to ask him is questions, not to conclude that, oh, it is not possible to get good jobs abroad. When you move abroad, you have to do menial jobs and you have to continue to do menial jobs. No. It's something personal. Do you know also in Nigeria or wherever you're connecting from in your country, specifically, let's say Nigeria, do you know that there are some people that are underworking? They are working below their certificate. Someone has a master's degree and then is doing a job that is only, the minimum qualification is school cert. Yet he has a master's. That is in Nigeria. So when it now comes to overseas, people are quick to say, oh, this and that. Even in Nigeria, these things are happening. The equivalent of these things happen everywhere. It is personal. That's the point. Get that point. It is personal. It is personal. Basically personal. It is individualistic. It is not something corporate. You can't place a judgment on, I mean, you can't place a judgment, you can't place a corporate judgment on an individual's experience. No, you can't. I know people make a lot of videos out there about their experience living abroad. And if you really are familiar with some of these videos, you will discover that like 80, even if not more than 80% of these videos speak something really quite is quite not positive about staying abroad. You see people ranting, panting, saying different things, their experience. Oh, it's no, don't come. They're trying to advise people not to travel. They're trying to share, oh, we pay a lot of bills, life is not this, life is not that. Now, my personal concern and challenge with such individuals is, has there been any time that such people come up and come out to also tell you how comfortable they have been in that country? Have you seen like 50% videos online of people sharing their good life, really good positive experiences living abroad? But rather, you see a lot of negative videos. People are complaining, oh, this and that, we pay bills, we do this, we do that, and all that. In fact, I came across a video on TikTok just this beginning of this week. The guy was really angry, and I understand his point. Because I could resonate with where he's coming, he was coming from. He said people just come online, specifically UK. People come online, they just begin to say a whole lot of things, abroad is not this, abroad is not that. That he recently visited Nigeria, and then he discovered that if you are living abroad, he was referring to the UK. If you are living in the UK, he said day your day. He was just trying to paint a picture that he recently visited Nigeria and discovered that things have really gone bad in Nigeria. And then he was trying to tell people in the UK that they have just been complaining this and that, that if you think what you are, the kind of life you are living in the UK is not something you like, it is very simple. Just agree to switch position with someone in Nigeria that wants to travel. Then you come back to Nigeria, let that person go to the UK. It's as simple as that. But I can tell you categorically that no one will ever agree with that kind of switch. Yet they keep complaining. Why have they not left that country and go back to Nigeria? That's my point. Every single time, I reasoned with that guy. Said just switch position with one person that has been aspiring to travel in Nigeria. You go back to Nigeria, let that person go to the UK, switch position. So these things they are just individualistic. It is personal. That's what I tell people. Don't make a judgment and don't make your conclusion based on one person's experience overseas. Don't. Make research. And one thing I always also tell people that I've personally discovered is that there is no amount of research you do online. When you arrive that country, definitely you will see things differently. Because what you read online, the research you have made, a lot of things, info you gathered online, these were experiences of individuals collated and put online. So when you get on ground, definitely it might not be the same way you saw it online. So these are dynamics you have to give room for. Mr. Locke said you have to be flexible. Don't be too rigid. Okay? Don't be too rigid. So it's basically individualistic. So, just last week, someone reached out to me And I was really quite, I was quite really, really touched about it. Person was talking about, the person wanted some kind of, travel assistance. And then he said that the wife is in Canada. So the story is this. In Nigeria, they consulted a consultant to process a travel package for the wife as a student. Okay, to process a student visa for the wife to Canada. So they did all of that. The wife landed in Canada as a student, only for the wife to discover that the tuition he paid to the consultant to pay to the school was never paid. I felt so, I felt so uncomfortable with that information, with that update. I felt so sorry for them. So after the admission, they paid the tuition requirement to the consultant to pay to the school, but he never paid. They continued the process. A couple of things went wrong. Because on a normal day, well, it depends. Like I told him to, it depends. There are some schools, it depends on the agreement between the organization, the school, and the consultants. There are some schools that don't want any third party when it comes to tuition payment between the school and the student. So they prefer the student pays directly to the school, no intermediary, even though they have a contract with the agents, with the consultant. When it comes to tuition, the agent has to get out of the way, let the student pay directly to the school. But there are some schools that insist that everything has to be done through the consultant, including the tuition deposit. So you pay the tuition to the agent pays to the school. So it depends on the agreement they have. But the bottom line is the tuition was paid to the consultant to pay to the school, but he didn't pay, he pocketed the money. And you know what? The wife got stranded in Canada and she had to seek asylum so she could remain in Canada and not return to Nigeria. She had to become an asylum seeker. So she's been running from pillar to post, trying to seek asylum. The husband is unsettled in Nigeria, looking for ways to relocate and go meet his wife in Canada. Things just went bad. Now, such person, when they narrate their own experience about traveling, obviously, it's going to be different. From someone that things went smoothly for him, and then he landed, got a job in a space of maybe 1, 2 weeks, 1 month, got a job, settled that everything was fine. And all. People have different experiences. So it is basically individualistic. So give room for that flexibility, give room for that. Don't be too rigid. Mr. Lauke emphasized that. Don't be too rigid. Give room for flexibility and don't go with any misconception in your mind. Decongest your mind of any kind of misconception. Okay. So thank you very much once again, Mr. Lauke, for that powerful shot. Thank you very much. Really quite on points, very quite, very, very detailed, very, very detailed. I mean, very, very detailed. Thank you very much for that. And in case you have any question, you can drop it in the chat board or you raise your hand. So very quickly, the second leg, before we round off, I'll just, it's like trying to expand one of the travel opportunities Mr. Lauke already mentioned. So for anyone who is interested in relocating, specifically, I'm talking about Germany now. If you plan to relocate to Germany, you want to go and work, live and work in Germany, for instance, there's an opportunity that the German government is launching 1st of June. That's in 6 days from now. 1st of June. The German government is launching an opportunity 1st of June. It is called Opportunity Card. Okay, so this is going to be one of the advantages for those who attended this this immigration conference tonight. In case you are interested, or you have someone who is interested, you can share this information with them. It's new, it's fresh. It has not started. It is going to start in 6 days from now, as from 1st of June. The German government is launching an opportunity for non-EU, that is non-European skilled workers to migrate to Germany to live and work without a job offer. It is called Opportunity Card. Now, this is how it works. I'll give you the requirements and basic info you need to know about it. This is how it works. Normally, if you want to go work in Germany, you need to have an employer that has given you a full-time contract before you can apply for a work visa to Germany. Pretty much like other countries too. You can't apply for a work visa without a contract, without an employment. You need an employment before you can apply. But in this case, you can apply without work, without a contract. So you see what I mean? So you see where the opportunity is now. So it means you can relocate to work in Germany without an offer yet. Okay, so the opportunity card gives you the opportunity to relocate to Germany and get a 1-year work permit without a job. You don't have a job yet, but you are getting that work permit for you to go to Germany in person and go and look for work. Instead of staying in Nigeria and checking the internet, looking for employer that will employ you, get the job, do the interview, get the job, sign contract, and then go to apply for visa. Instead of all of that, they bypass all of that. Say, look, without a job, without an employer, you can apply directly, come to Germany, we'll give you 1 year opportunity to look for a job in Germany. Once you get a job, you are able to now continue to stay in Germany. Even you can become a permanent resident in Germany. So that is the opportunity. What are the basic requirements? So the first, there is age requirement because it's a point-based system. Okay, for you to qualify to apply for the opportunity card, you must have at least 6 points. It is calculated on a point basis. You must have at least 6 points before you get qualified for the opportunity card. 6 points minimum. Okay, and age and all these things I want to mention, they contribute to you accumulating points. So the first is the age. You have to be 40 years below. Okay, it's not for people who are 40 and above. Once you in fact, there's a place where you can even check your eligibility. Once you say you declare you are 40, it's automatic disqualification. You're not qualified. So it has to be someone who is below 40. That is, it means 39, 38, 37, like that. Once you are 40 and above, you're not qualified. Okay, so that is one, there's age requirement. Then number 2 is there is work experience requirement. You must have at least 2 years work experience in whatever you're doing. At least 2 years work experience in your field. That's number 2. That one also counts like maybe 1 point. So you see all these things I'm mentioning, they are the things you will use to accumulate points. And the minimum for you to qualify to apply is 6 points. So the next one is that you must have a 2-year vocational training, or a bachelor's degree. Okay, you must have a 2-year vocational training or a bachelor's degree. That's another one. Then another one is you must understand German at the A1 level. That is the basic. That's the basic German. Basic German. And also English language at B2 level. Okay, so I don't think English will not be an issue for Nigerians. So where they work is going to be in learning German. Okay, German, which is the least, which is A1, the least. That's all you need. You don't need to go that far, just the first level of German, because it will count for you on the point system also. Okay, so language requirement is part of it. Then there's also proof of funds, that is, finance is involved. Okay, you need to prove that you are financially able to cater for your expenses, at least for the first year you'll be staying there. And Germany operates something that is called blocked account. You open an account, put a certain amount of money, the account is locked until you arrive Germany. Okay, so you can't withdraw the money. That will be a proof that you're financially able to sponsor yourself on your stay. When you arrive Germany, you can begin to withdraw the money, you can use the money. So Germany operates blocked account. The same way for this opportunity card, you will need that same proof of fund up to like 12,324 euros. 12,324 euros. You only need to put it in your account. So what some people do is to get a loan. It's not as if you are not giving it to the government, it's your money. You just need to show them that you have that money with you. Okay. So once you put it in your account, that settles your proof of fund for you. I mean, in a German blocked account, that solves that for you. But there's an alternative to that. That's why I find this really quite interesting. And I was wondering, why is the German government really this flexible this time around? I mean, the offer is really quite flexible for someone who wants to work in Germany. If you really want to live and work in Germany, or you know someone who wants to live and work in Germany, you can recommend this for them, really. Because it is really quite flexible and is unlikely of the German government. Now, there's an alternative to the proof of fund of 12,000 plus euros. Now, the alternative is if you have a contract with an employer for 20 hours, no matter the job, no matter, even if it's a restaurant job or a job in a bakery, that will sort out your proof of fund for you. So you don't need to look for 12,000 euros anymore. In other words, if you're able to get a contract, it doesn't have to be a skilled job. Like if you want to go to Germany normally on a work visa, you need a skilled job, that can give you a contract for you to apply, because you have to migrate as a skilled worker. Okay. So the opportunity is that you can use that contract from that blue collar job, okay, to apply. So that waives the proof of fund for you. So what they are interested in is that you have a contract, a valid job contract, that every month they know what you are getting and they are convinced that you are able to sustain yourself. That is the essence of the contract. So it could be a restaurant job, it could be in a bakery, it could be in a car wash, it could be in anywhere, any of these blue collar jobs. Blue collar jobs are menial jobs, non-degree seeking jobs you can easily get without any degree. Those are blue collar jobs. Okay, so if you have that 20-hour contract, so what it means is in a month, the employer is giving you a contract to work for them for 20 hours. And if you have that 20-hour contract, minimum salary you get in a month is 1,000 euros. Okay, minimum salary you get in a month is 1,000 euros. That's the minimum if you're on a 20-hour contract. So once you have that contract, then you don't need proof of fund anymore. So when you are submitting your application for the opportunity card, all you need to submit is the contract. That's all. So that's another advantage. So that's another thing you need to take note of. And why exactly is the government doing all of this? Now, there's a projection between now and 2060 between now and 2060, it has been projected that there's going to be about 16 million job vacancies, job shortage. There's going to be like 16 million job shortage in Germany between now and 2060. They have made a projection. If they don't, so it means that between now and 2060, if they don't bring in foreign workers from abroad, there's going to be a shortage of about 16 million workers. So that's why they need to open this channel to make it easier for people to come and fill those roles in their economy. 16 million is a lot. Okay, so they have concluded that if they don't allow foreign workers to come in, between now and 2060, there's going to be a big shortage of 16 million jobs without people available to work those jobs, to do those jobs. So that is one of the motivations for bringing up this opportunity card. And you know, another interesting thing about the opportunity card is that there is a particular website the German government has built up for this particular opportunity. For you to know they are really serious about it. They are launching it 1st of June, 6 days from now, is going to go live. So there's a particular website that they have created for it. You can do self-check, you can do an assessment to see whether you're qualified or not. You can do a check. And also, most importantly, on that same website, there are employers. So it means the job you want to apply for, employers you are seeking, you meet them on that same platform. Makes it quite easy. So it means on that same website, you see job offers, you see employers, you can do whatever on that same website. It makes everything easy. Just on one website, everything is everything is just there. Okay. So these are the basic things you need to know about the opportunity card. And you have the opportunity definitely to get a permanent residency, card. Permanent to become a permanent resident in Germany afterwards. And also maybe later on, if you are qualified, like Mr. Locke mentions, the EU Blue Card, you can apply for the EU Blue Card. If you have EU Blue Card, officially it means you can live and work in any part of Europe. Any part of Europe, once you have the EU Blue Card, any part of Europe, you can live and work there. Okay. So those are the basic things you need to know about. Those are the basic things you need to know about the opportunity card. Okay. So we thought that will also help someone. So we thought that will also help someone that might be interested in that, or if you know someone who is interested in working in Germany and you've been looking at, if maybe somebody has been looking for how to get a job so you can apply for the work visa to Germany and all that. Now this is the opportunity. You don't need job really to get to Germany now. So that becomes a major advantage for anyone interested in that. So once again, thank you very much, Mr. Locke. We really quite appreciate your time. We appreciate your effort. Thank you for the time you invested in putting this together also, and making this a reality and also worthwhile. Thank you for the wealth of experience you've also shared with us. Thank you very much for that. We really quite grateful for that. Okay. Thank you very much. Okay, so I don't know if anybody has any question now. Okay, if there's no question, then we'll move to the next part of the conference, as we are very close to rounding off. So the next part of the conference, we'll be welcoming Mr. Oluwasegun Awodele if he's available. Mr. Okay, so over to you, Mr. Oluwasegun Awodele.
Thank you very much, sir. Back here again. sure you have all been having a good time here. So, uh, what next on the agenda? Currently, our membership application is ongoing and it is free. So, if you are interested in being part of this movement, you are free to join us and also we have we want you to know that volunteers are currently needed. So you know anyone who is
I think your audio
needed.
is not too clear. There's a kind of hum somehow.
Okay. What about now, sir?
Okay, yeah, it's better now.
Okay. Is it clear now, sir?
Yes, yes. It's okay.
Okay, thank you, sir. All right. So as I was saying, I was talking about what's next on the agenda. So I said currently our membership application is ongoing and it is free. So if you are interested in being part of this movement, we would like you to join us. It is absolutely free. It is absolutely free. So nobody will charge you for that. So if you are interested in being part of us, in being a member, you can reach out, or of course, we'll post the link where you can actually join us. Also, we need volunteers. So if you are here, you know anyone who is skilled in graphic design, video editing, yes, you can reach out to them and then send the link to them for them to register. We are currently taking volunteers as much as we are taking members too. Yes, our next official events will be announced to you through our various platforms, the WhatsApp, the Telegram, and then Instagram. You know, every month like this, we have official meeting, you know, so you will get to know that through our various channels. Also, you can connect with us, you know, through our link and the QR code that will be posted shortly. So you can always connect with us. Maybe you have any question or you have any contribution, anything you want to get to know probably about the organization. You are free, feel free to reach out to us, you know, through the link tree or the QR code. And that will be all for now. Thank you so much for being part of us tonight. Over to you, sir, Mr. Bankole.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Odile. Thank you very much for that. So, I'm going to be taking the vote of thanks now as we round off. We are really quite grateful for this opportunity, and also the fact that Mr. Lucky was able to carve out time, and you know, he had to share some things to be here with us tonight to share from his wealth of experience and also knowledge with us. He was to be here in the first edition of this immigration conference, but you know, he really couldn't make it then. But of course, we're happy he was able to, you know, to make it this time around. So we really appreciate that. Thank you very much. Like we said, and we've always been saying, these conferences we do are free. You know, they are free. Okay. Someone is saying, please, the Telegram group links or social media handles to connect with you. Okay. Mr. Awodele, please, can you post that? So someone is asking for the Telegram link and our social media handles.
Yes, sir, I'm on it right away, sir.
Okay, so the link will be posted for you to connect with us on Telegram and also on WhatsApp. We post updates there, opportunities there every single day on those platforms and also our social media platforms. So once again, thank you very much, Mr. Lauki, for your time. Thank you very much. And everyone who has also made time out to be here for yourself and also for others. Also, thank you very, very much for that. And also for everyone watching on YouTube right now and those who will yet watch on YouTube. We have quite a number of people, you know, that always, you know, join on YouTube and then go to watch and rewatch. Even myself, I go back to rewatch, and a lot of people also go back there to to rewatch. So we also thank our YouTube followers. So thank you very much. Also, let's be sure that we also share this information, share this video, share this recording with other persons. Definitely it's going to be of help to others. So whatever you have learned and heard here today, also don't let it just end with you. Share it with other people. Let other people learn from it. Like we said, these conferences are free, but really, I've attended paid conferences, and what I got in those conferences they are not more than what we offer here. It is just because this is a non-governmental organization. It's a give back to the society on a normal day. The speakers we bring guys are normally expected, and they are supposed to charge for what they are going to do, but they are not charging, and we are also not charging because it's a give back to society. So all what we want is that you are making use of these things. That's what we want. So there's result, there's transformation, the society is better for it. That's basically what we're after. Okay, so you do us well, you do us good by making use of what you have learned and sharing with others. Very important. Okay, and if you have feedbacks you want to give, you have testimonials you want to share with us, feel free to do that with us also on any of our platforms. You can always share your experience, share your feedbacks and your testimonials with us on any of our platforms. We are also very happy to receive that. That's also part of the things that will encourage us, to keeping on. Like we have received some feedbacks that were really quite helpful. We were really quite happy to get those feedbacks. Okay, like one of the persons that got a job offer online, through one of the opportunities we normally post on our platforms on WhatsApp and Telegram. So she decided to explore one of those opportunities, and then she got herself a job online, a remote job. Okay, so we were really quite happy with that feedback. So our joy and what we really want is that we're getting good, positive feedbacks from you. And also, if you want some kind of feedbacks, maybe like suggestions, you can always do that also. Maybe you have suggestions, you have areas you would want us to look into. Definitely, you can always reach out to us. We welcome that. We'll be really quite happy to have that feedback also. So once again, thank you very much, everyone. And the next event date will be announced. So just keep an eye on our pages, like Mr. Hawodele has rightly said. And then we'll see you in our next event. And also, very importantly, like we said, this is just like the starting phase of the vision. So there are quite a host of things that we will be doing in coming years, but it's going to be in stages and levels. We're taking it in bits, and definitely you can always explore the opportunities that will bring your way. Okay, thank you very much, and do enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we hope to see you in the next event. Bye, everyone.